This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Bruchim Haba, welcome everyone. We continue in the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. Today we begin Yom Sheni, Monday. We did the first 26 oisiyos. Today we're up to 27. Laharchik gaiva vakas, to distance oneself from arrogance and anger. Now, this is somewhat problematic. The Rosh already told us in Ois Aleph, Lehisrachik min agaiva. Well, we already forgot about that. In Aleph, Lehisrachik min agaiva, and Vav uvechein min hakas. So why is he telling us again in Ois Chav Zayin, Laharchik gaiva vakas? This is the question of the Lev Mordechai. Rav Mordechai Zuckerman was one of the last surviving Talmidim of the Chafetz Chaim. Was one of the last surviving Talmidim of the Chafetz Chaim. If I'm not mistaken, last time I was in Eretz Yisrael, I got lost in Har Menuchos. I stumbled across his kever. When I was a bacher, I was zocheh to meet Rav Zuckerman a few times. One time he gave me a bracha. I should be zocheh to learn Kala Torah Kula. Yeah, that one I'm still working on. The other time he gave me a bracha that I should be zocheh to get a good shidduch. Baruch Hashem. That was Niskayim, and the other one I'm working on. But Reb Zuckerman was one of the last Talmidim of the Chafetz Chaim. I believe he was in the Kovna ghetto, and he was together with Rabbi Avram Grzinski when the Nazis came into Slobodka, and Rabbi Avram Grzinski had a takana, an eitzah, that's similar to this week's parsha, where they were going to make 10 tzaddikim. And if they have 10 tzaddikim, the Rebbeinu Shalom will spare the whole place. Rav Avram Grzinski understood that when the Torah says, V'nasasi l'chol hamakim ba'avuram, that's not just like a one-time phenomenon, but that's like a fact of life. And if you look in the Hakdama of the Taras Avram, of Rav Avram Grzinski, he brings over there the different inyanim that these 10 tzaddikim committed to work on. And I heard from one of my Rabbeim, who was close with Mordechai Zuckerman, that Rav Mordechai Zuckerman was one of these 10 tzaddikim. So again, I had this chus to me. I once, when I was in Eretz Yisrael, I also met the son of the Taras Avram, Rabbi Yitzchak Grzinski, who was a neighbor of Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman. Anyway, so Rav Mordechai Zuckerman asks, this is quoted by Rav Goldberg, that why is the Rosh repeating to distance yourself from Gaiva and Kas? We already had that. And he gives a very important answer. In the beginning of the Sefer, we're talking to a guy off the street. So we're telling him, pal, your first step in Avodas Hashem, you have to distance yourself from Gaiva and Kas. So he works on himself, and he starts becoming more oriented spiritually. And it used to be he was very into politics and sports, and now he pulled out of it. So it used to be when somebody rooted for the other team or the other party, it got him angry. Now he's not interested in these things anymore. But now that he's more ruchani, and he's more interested in ruchnias, now other things get him angry. And now it gets him even angrier. Now people speak Lashon Hara, it gets him angry. Now when people have improper hashkafas, it gets him upset. So now that the person has entered the realm of ruchnias, we need another warning. Now you need to double down your efforts and be careful to really distance yourself from Gaiva and Kas. V'goar b'Yetzer Harah hamashiacha lalechas b'darchei libecha. Scold the Yetzer Hara that persuades you to go in the path of your heart. Now, what's the connection between distance yourself from Gaiva and Kas and screaming at the Yetzer Hara? Apparently, even though you need to distance yourself from Gaiva and Kas, you need to save a little bit. You need to save a little Gaiva and a little Kas to get angry at the Yetzer Hara. Interesting. So a little Gaiva and a little Kas is good. You need to be Magbia Liboy B'darchei Hashem. In other words, many Averos a person does because a person says, I'm not that, it doesn't really matter. Who am I? It doesn't matter if I say that, if I look at that. What am I? I'm not that important. No! You have to be a little bit of a Baal Gaiva. You're very important in the Bria, so what you say and do and think and look at makes a difference. You need to save Gaiva to scold the Yetzer Hara. You need to get angry at the Yetzer Hara. You Yetzer Hara, you disgusting creep. You're trying to make me do that? What a chutzpah. Do you know who I am? I'm B'nai Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. My neshama comes from Tachas Kisei HaKavod. You creep, don't you ever mess with me again. You need to scream at the Yetzer Hara. You need to use Gaiva and Kas. Rav Goldberg quotes the Belzer Rebbe that why does Hashem get angry every day? Right? Chazal say Hashem is koyes b'chol yom rega. Why? So that the world has a little anger, so that we could harness it to use against the Yetzer Hara. Very interesting. Now, what exactly is this Ga'ara? Rabbi Yisrael Salanter instituted that the proper mahalach of learning Musar is to learn b'safsayim dolkos, with burning lips, and in a very emotive, emotional way, with great ferociousness and with great enthusiasm. And one has to scold the Yetzer Hara. La'olam yargiz adam Yetzer toiv al Yetzer Hara. And the Yetzer Hara is going to say, V'al tashed el derachav, don't turn to his path. The Yetzer Hara is going to want you to turn to his path. Don't do it. But rather, ki derachecha zach v'yashar. Your path is pure and straight. Now that's a very interesting expression. Our path is pure and straight. See, the Yetzer Hara's taina is, we should do whatever we want. But that's not correct. Our path is inherently zach v'yashar, meaning the path of the seichel. See, this is a very difficult line to read. Al tashed el derachav, don't turn to his path. Ki derachecha zach v'yashar. Your path is pure and just. Is that really correct? Is our path in life automatically pure and just? In the Perush on the Rosh, Makar Chaim, I think that's from Rav Betzalel Zolti, he understands this line, don't listen to the Yetzer Hara who persuades you and he tells you, meaning V'al tashed el derachav, don't turn to his path. He's telling you, hey, your path is right, it's zach v'yashar, meaning this is all divrei Yetzer Hara. If you look in the Orchos Chaim, in the Chok Yisrael, the nusach is V'al yashet ki drachecha zach v'yashar. This seems to be the Girsa L'Tosos Yom Tov. Don't follow your path, meaning Al tashed el derachav ki drachecha zach v'yashar, but rather you should turn to the path of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Derachav ki drachecha zach v'yashar, the Tosos Yom Tov learns, is going on the path of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But Ois Chav Zayin is telling us that on the one hand we should keep away from arrogance and anger, and on the other hand they should be reserved for a very specific weapon, as a very specific weapon, and that is to denounce the Yetzer Hara, so to speak, to put down the Yetzer Hara, and that's sort of a weapon to overcome his tactics. Okay, Mar Rabbi, we'll see you Bez Hashem next Monday. Ois Chav Ches. Wishing everyone a wonderful evening. Please join us tonight's shir, Mamish Oyim Enoira. New material on the Akedah like you never heard before. Okay, Kol Tov everyone. Bracha v'atzlacha. Bye-bye.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.